So then I kind of went back, did my own thing again, came back to Joomla Day Chicago again. And by that time I was at an agency building some stuff and other sites and kind of heating up some of the digital divisions. And by that time I had 100-something clients. I knew lots of people in like cloudaccess.net, things like that. And I went back to Joomla Day Chicago again. And Paul Lowerk, the president at the time, spoke. And I took him aside and said, hey, I filled out a volunteer application 6 months ago. No one's getting back to me. No one's returning my emails. How do I get involved? And he apologized, said, hey, sorry, that's an issue we had. Still didn't hear it. He's like, I'll get back to you. And I think he did send me an email, and he sent it to someone else on one of the teams, and it never went anywhere. And this kind of continued on for a little while. I kept going to Joomla Days. It wasn't until I went to that and I met some people in the local community, and I started building more sites and started working in agencies a lot more, that I met people like Victor Drover, the former Open Source Matters treasurer, and he invited me on the finance team. And I went to my first Joomla World Conference, which was in Boston, and I spoke. And speaking at that World Conference opened up so many doors for me. Then I had the ability to go to J and Beyond and meeting a bunch of people there. And I slowly started to, get involved. In Boston, I joined my first Joomla team. I joined the extensions team, the JED team. And I was so excited because the JED was my favorite place. I loved extensions. And I remember getting trained and talking to Matt and Tessa. And I joined the JED team. And I hated it. It was the most boring job. I couldn't stand it. So after about 3 months, I quit. And I felt so defeated because I got what I wanted, but it wasn't the right fit for me. And that's the cool thing about Joomla is there's so many different roles. Even if you're not a coder, there's a spot for you if you do marketing, design, anything. So then I met Vic, and he said, hey, do you want to join the finance team? I need some support as treasurer, things like that. And I did. And I really started liking finance. And I have no accounting background, but I really enjoyed working with them. And Martine is also on the team. I loved working with Martine. And we started getting more involved. They were on the Joomla World Conference team, and I said, hey, I'm running this conference, Joomla Day Minnesota. It's a really big conference. We sold out at 140 people the first year, in Minnesota. It was the largest Joomla Day in America at the time. Then the next year, we ran it and we had, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people at the Mall of America. And Vic saw that and said, you have a knack for dealing with sponsors. So they allowed me I joined the Capital team to help, sell sponsorships. And I was able to join the Joomla World Conference team, which was my goal because I love the World Conference. I really believe in it. And I started selling sponsorships to the World Conference. I joined when doing Mexico, Joomla World Conference, and I sold for the India year. And we did very well, and it was a very successful conference. Then I sold again for the India year. Martine was the one doing it, and he decided to go to pursue other endeavors in the project and contribute in other ways. So I'm still doing that, and I still really like it. And I've always just, getting more and more involved in the community and making friends and still building stuff. And then last summer, I had the opportunity to become treasurer because we had an unexpected departure of the treasurer. And there wasn't a continuity, there wasn't a plan to continue on that role. And we needed to be able to stay in business, stay open. And due to U.S. law and regulations, there were some citizenship requirements due to New York State law. And I volunteered to take the interim role, non-voting position on the board. And I've been doing the best I can, and our finance team has been awesome, be kind of supporting that. And that same summer is when I started also being really involved in other open source communities, not just Joomla, including WordPress. And I think a lot of people look at WordPress as a competitor to Joomla, and I don't think that's true.